I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about making a fashion portfolio. As a designer myself working in the industry, this is just the portfolio I use to get some of my jobs. So this is just one of mine that I just really wanted to share with you guys and kind of show you guys maybe customizing your portfolio, making it different is very important because there are so many people that are in the fashion industry, then it is so competitive, and that's why there's not a lot of people showing their portfolios. But I'm just gonna leave it out there and show you kind of what mine looks like and what I did. So for starters, I have like a little list here that I just want to talk over. So for starting off, it depends, like if you're starting off from a clean slate, have you had a collection, you're basing a portfolio off of that collection, that's also key as well, because then you want to show that. You want to show your color palette, you want to show your ideas. If you have actual photos of collections or pieces that you've made, that's great. Usually start with a collection of 6 and then you can go 12 or even bigger. It's up to you guys, however much you want to show in your portfolio. Also, no matter what, pull inspiration from your working journals. Your working journals are things that kind of like your little scrapbook. Everything that you pull for inspiration, your little sketches, anything like that, you always want to pull from your working journal. If you have questions about working journals, that's going to be my next video that I will be putting up on how to make a working journal. And in no way this is a standard. This is just something that I've done and whatnot. I don't think I know everything. This is just from my perspective and what I've done. And so always use your working journals. Also always bring working journals on interviews with you, because sometimes they can be a portfolio within themselves. A lot of maybe the interviewer and a lot of interviewers actually like to look at the working journals kind of to see where your mind went to get to that final product. And yeah, so instead of the pretty and technical main portfolio that you give them, they like to see working journals. So I'll do that video next. Also, starting with portfolios, I have mine here. This happens to be one of them. Sorry, the light is really bright on it. There you go. So this is one of them. It's kind of big. This is my main big one that I used to take on interviews, but mainly with starting with a portfolio, you want to start with the cover page. The cover page is very important because it does show off your kind of what's inside and also your personality. That's what I struggle with the most, because the cover page really sets the tone for kind of the rest of the meeting. So that's what I always work hard on. And also throughout your whole process, if you want to use Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, that's up to you. They're definitely your best friend when it comes to making a portfolio. A lot of people use Illustrator and InDesign to build like their full booklet portfolio, just because it is a lot easier. If you use InDesign, it actually makes your file sizes more portable and smaller, so you can send them through emails and whatnot, while Illustrator, sometimes the files can be pretty big. Also with that, my second page, you can see it's more of like where my inspiration is. I chose to be inspired by more art language, which was kind of like through street art, through structures, through anything like that, versus being inspired by a designer or silhouettes and whatnot. So you'll see my main inspiration page is mainly graffiti art and definitely color and whatnot. And then I go into my inspiration, my raw sketches mixed with my more technical sketches, and still that splash of like what's inspiring me throughout. My color palette, you really want to be creative with your color palette. People do these a million different ways. So you kind of want to be creative in the way of how you present it. Since my collection was called Unapologetic and it was more industrial and graffiti and urban lifestyle, I actually went to Home Depot and picked out these silver, kind of, I don't know what you call them, but they're like little silver rectangle things, and I actually took yarn and wrapped it around it. So that's what I did, and it just shows the color palette in a really unique way. Next, you really want to give them like a full screenshot of kind of what your collection, what you'll be showing them, what it looks like all together. So you really want to show them that quick snapshot throughout so they know what's coming next in the portfolio, because they want to see like the full big picture that you came up with, and then everything that comes after that and what inspired you. Just because there are so many applicants, they're not going to take much time looking at your portfolio. So if you can get them in the first few pages, like, hey, this is inspiration, this is kind of my hand art work, the way that your mind works, and then like your main inspiration page with your color palette, and then your snapshot of what the whole collection looks like. And then as they go further, they can look more into, this is my sketches, my tech flats, my actual full done croquis art piece, as well as any snapshots that you have of people inside of the garments themselves. So here you can see like all of my hand drawings that actually I scanned in from my working journal, which is great. So feel free to like work in that journal. Don't feel like you have to like go back and forth and whatnot. You can always use a scanner to scan it in, blow it up, whatever you need to do, just to kind of bring that more to life, as well as any shots that inspired me, kind of my working through process. So yeah, we can look through more of these pages. Also, another important thing is to mix in tech flats. In this portfolio in particular, this one does not have tech flats. I did a tech flat page. So some people actually mix them in with the garments, and they'll have tech flats on the same page with the garment sketch and the inspiration and all that. Sometimes it becomes too messy. Sometimes it looks too full. So sometimes at the end I'll just throw in like a quick 1, 2, 3, kind of like stack them as a collection and just show the tech flats that way. And that seems to be like a really clean way. That way if they do have any questions about tech flats, you can just flip to that page and they'll be like, hey, here's, you know, the tech flats and here's what they look like and the skill set there. So that I usually do as an extra page instead of putting it on the main inspiration pages. Inspiration pages for me are quite, I don't want to use the word messy, but it's very organic. It's very like, you know, here's my full inspiration and then like here's the pictures, just organic thought, more like my working journal. So it kind of reflects a personal look, and that's just my preference. I know there's a lot of people out there that do super clean work and it looks beautiful and amazing. So it's just either or, depending on what you're interested in and what inspires you. It all depends and it's all personal. So making your finishing page, you're gonna want it to be, maybe that goes after your tech flats, but you're gonna want it to be your resume. So you can do a finishing page with your resume, you can do an insert, kind of like a little sleeve that actually has resumes in it that you can give out at the interview, or you can also put in takeaways or your business cards. So I definitely use takeaways and business cards. I can go through those in a later video if you'd like, to say, you know, what's good about a takeaway, are they worth it, because you're gonna buy them to give them out during interviews. Business cards are a must. You have to have a business card. It just helps and it looks good, and it's also easy for them to keep. A takeaway is great to give out, but a business card is just easier. Takeaway takes up their desk and they'll probably end up throwing it out. So it's just better to keep business cards, and if you leave that in the portfolio and a little sleeve, it actually makes it way easier to give it out. So talking about portfolios, and I know I showed you this one. I don't know if you can see because of the lighting, but it's a little like fogged on top, and I asked for it that way. It's not like super clear. It is a bit like fogged effect, as well as you can see kind of this metal edge here. So I get all my portfolio books from, it's called PAPERHAUS. I'll leave a link below. That way you guys can go check them out. Their website's amazing. Also their location is really nice. You just have to find it a bit in LA, but it's really, really nice in there. You get to really customize, and they can make it however you want, any size you want. They can do engravings, they can do like, you know, like fogging, they can do clear, they could really do wood, whatever you want. So it's really, really cool place to go, especially if you want a custom portfolio to stand out. Another thing that I really love about them is, if you look here, these knobs actually come out and they are screw-ons. So you can literally screw them out and you can put in as much paper as you need to for your portfolio, and then you can just screw it back. And so you can keep adding, not add. It doesn't have to be a secure, like this is what your portfolio has to look like after you bind it, which is important because I've bound a lot of my portfolios and then it becomes getting old, or an old resume's in it, so I can't change it. So that's for your main big portfolio. The portfolio that's really important is maybe you just want to have one on hand, a super easy glance portfolio. This you can keep in your purse. I kept it in my purse a long time while I was looking for work, in case anybody was like, hey, I'm looking for a designer or anything. I can be like, hey, here's a quick booklet, or you can leave them with this as well. So this is just something that I got done at Staples, super easy. So it just has a quick little cover, and then as you go into it, you can see a quick snapshot of the whole collection. So it's a quick, easy look at everything and the sketches. Then you can go through and actually see my sketch and my sketch and then my photo of the full garment, so you can see full inspiration to full look of the production. So you can actually see that throughout this whole portfolio. And it's just a snapshot. Consider this like a cross between your working journal and your portfolio. So this is kind of like that medium point that you can just bring quickly if like you're in an interview and you feel like this is way too big. You can bring this and you can quickly show them, especially since a lot of people are gonna look at it just like this, and then they're gonna be like, okay, thanks for coming. So you're gonna want a quick little booklet to have. So here, I just kept going with some of the collection, and then I ended it with a resume page. A resume page is just very important at the end, so then they can look through that after, and you guys can talk about your resume and your skill set and everything like that as well. I do also bring a technical booklet. My technical booklet is all about like any tech packs that I've done, any examples that I can give them of like line sheets that I've done, or any sort of work that you've done for either other companies or experience. That way you can kind of show them that you have that skill set to do CADs, and that you can do line sheets and tech packs and all that. And if you have any experience in different programs, I know that's really important, especially because so many companies use so many different ones like Full Circle, Blue Cherry, PLM, and Centric. So those are the main ones that I've seen used down here in LA across different companies. So if you can show them like, hey, I'm fully trained in these, they tend to like that. That way they can, you know, get you right to work. So if you can kind of get brushed up in those skills and show that in the interview process, that would really help as well. Now, technical books I actually don't show until they ask for an interview, so I don't put those online or anything like that. But these, like your portfolio, your big one, anything like that, feel free to make a website, put them on any portfolio websites that are available, your own websites, Wix, anything like that. And yeah, and that's pretty much all.